Hi, I'm Rod Adams, publisher of Atomic Insights and the host and producer of The Atomic Show. On January 9th, Duke University held a hydrofracking forum and invited several industry experts along with academics to discuss some of the implications of the technology known as hydraulic fracturing. One of the first speakers was Michael Parker, a technical advisor for ExxonMobil, who's actually with the XTO subsidiary of ExxonMobil. XTO is a company that Exxon purchased in 2010, which specializes in the technique of hydraulic fracturing.
Michael Parker. Mr. Parker is a technical advisor within ExxonMobil production company, an upstream safety, health, and environmental organization. Currently, Mr. Parker is assigned as XTO Energy and ExxonMobil subsidiary as hydraulic fracturing issues manager and chairs of the American Petroleum Institute Hydraulic Fracturing Workshop. Thank you, Mr. Parker, for being here today.
All right, well, thank you very much, Avner. My name is Mike Parker with ExxonMobil Production Company in Houston. I was talking with some folks here before the meeting. I've been spending a lot of my time working with our new subsidiary, XTO Energy, up in Fort Worth. Describe my job as being one where I spend about half my time up in Fort Worth, half my time in Houston, and half my time on the road. And that's kind of where I've been. What I'd like to do this morning is really kind of set the groundwork or give you some, I'll say, background as to why non-conventional resource development is going to be important to us.
Unconventional natural gas is definitely important to Exxon. They spent $41 billion when they purchased XTO, making an investment in North American unconventional gas supply. And now Mr. Parker is going to tell you a little bit about how much that supply is and how it compares to the depletion in conventional gas over the next several years.
The supply sources, kind of by region, are there for you to see. Again, the one that's probably the most well-defined at this point is the situation in North America, because there has been a lot of activity. Essentially all the growth in supply that we see in North America is attributed to non-conventional resources. There are going to be some declines in conventional resources going forward, so one's going to offset the other, but at the end of the day there's going to be some fairly significant gains in supply, which ultimately are to the benefit of the consuming public. So for the U.S., what we're interested here, I'll say more locally, what are the trends? And there's a couple of interesting things you can pull from this. First is our average population growth per year. We're kind of flat. You know, it's less than 1%. So we're not, as a country, going to be growing in population significantly. The good news associated with that, however, is that we do see very substantial and very, I'll say, consistent and steady growth from a GDP standpoint on the order of 2.4, 2.5% per year going forward. And that is interestingly coupled with energy demand that we actually see decreasing over this time frame. So what does that mean? The short answer is we're doing better with what we have. We're getting more efficient. We're growing our economy without increasing overall energy demand.
So on the surface, a Business 201 student would say that ExxonMobil's got a little bit of a problem. They've invested $41 billion in a company that specializes in unconventional gas production. They see a gradually increasing supply of natural gas, mostly due to unconventional production, and that natural gas is domestic. It's pretty much locked up in the United States because the only way to ship natural gas somewhere else is to cool it down to minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit and put it on a tanker to move it as LNG, and that's not a cheap proposition. So what's ExxonMobil going to do with all the excess gas that it looks like they may be producing between now and 2040?
So how does gas demand fit into that? If you look at gas, the gas piece of that same chart, that last chart I was talking about, you see that, of course, we think that there's going to be very substantial, very significant penetration of natural gas into the power generation market. We are less optimistic about, I'll say, natural gas penetration into the transportation market. We don't think there's going to be substantial penetration into the personal vehicle area. We do see some very strong potential in the area of, I'll say, fleet vehicles or large, commercial transportation systems. So from a transportation standpoint, that's where we see gas maybe having a role.
Let's bring it on home. ExxonMobil has got its eyes set on sustained growth in the U.S. electricity market. That's the same market that I and some of my nuclear colleagues thought was going to be the place for a nuclear renaissance. Up until 2008, things were going great in the nuclear business. We were hiring like crazy, and it looked like we were going to bring on a whole bunch of new plants. 24 projects got started up. Then the price of natural gas dropped like a rock. Initially, it was due to a recession, but the price has been maintained far below world prices for long enough for me to start suspecting that the oil and gas companies are overproducing in an effort to keep the price low. They're engaged in a price war against nuclear energy. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it, and I'm calling this a smoking gun.